Hello, this is Angela and Julie again. Grace and narcissism. I was talking about how important it is to give grace to some people, and how it's important to distinguish where to give it and where not to give it. And I think a lot of we as a Christian people, we conditioned or taught, forgive no matter what, be good no matter what, and I see it in the sermons like, well, that they have very simplistic approach, in my opinion, especially to the people who has, like with narcissists, you cannot just give like, well, you didn't have good relationship with this person, just forgive and start all over. And it all sounds very good, but it's a little bit more complex when you deal with the devil in the flesh, right? I would call it that way. Some
Absolutely.
Narcissistic.
And because they're conditioning you to believe that you owe it to them. You owe them that grace. And you're not to bring it up if they've done something horrific, or they've injured you, or they've been super neglectful, or whatever it is that they're doing that's a destructive behavior. If you bring it up, then you're a horrible Christian, and they'll use the Bible verses against you and whatever. So they want you to sweep it under the rug. And, it's this constant thing of sweeping things under the rug and being taught that that's how we handle it. And also, if you do try to bring something up that is necessary to be dealt with because it is very destructive, then you pay such a huge price. They make sure that you pay a huge price so that you don't dare bring up anything ever again. And so it becomes this cyclical belief that if you just love them enough, mm-hmm. If you love them, you won't bring up anything uncomfortable. You won't discuss anything that's destructive. You won't try to deal with it. You'll just forgive them, and you'll just keep going, and you'll just keep trying. But it's kind of like gears that are grinding against each other because they refuse. They're going to do it their own way, even if it injures everybody around them. And when you try to say, hey, this is destructive, this isn't working, then you pay this massive price. So then you just kind of go into submission of just show them grace, just give them grace, grace. Make excuses. Oh, they had a horrible childhood, or oh, they didn't really mean to do that, or they don't really realize what they're doing. And then you find out it takes years for you to come out of that fog, mm-hmm. and realize they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
They are manipulating that situation specifically so that they can do whatever the heck they want to do without being questioned, and without having to feel uncomfortable about it, or having to feel bad about running over everybody with the lawnmower. That's just an analogy of what I see happening on the emotional level, is they're just running around with their lawnmower, running over people and never looking back. And you're not supposed to cry out. You're not supposed to say, hey, that hurts. You're mm-hmm. not supposed to say, hey, have you noticed the big, huge destruction you're leaving in your pathway? You're supposed to give grace, but what you'll also find is that there is zero grace for you.
Oh, yeah.
They will not give you any grace in return. So when you're sitting in church and you're hearing all these sermons about being a good Christian by just loving no matter what and just forgiving 70 times 7, okay, forgiving someone is not equal to saying their behavior is okay, justifying their behaviors. That's what they want you to do. They want you to make them believe that they are deserving of that grace, that because they did what they had to do. Too bad that everybody's dying around them. That's why they have no emotional attachment to when they are injuring and harming other people, because in their mind, they're right. They're justified in what they're doing because they have justified themselves.
And when you're giving grace,
you're just proving their point, that they're justified in their behavior.
Yeah, you solidify that they are doing right. And there's a lot of downfalls to not bringing it up to the narcissist. And
Right.
it's in a way, of course, they're training. They don't want to face the truth. They can
No.
bring a nuclear weapons to when there's huge explosions of narcissistic rage because they want to teach the other person, don't you ever make me wrong, or
Don't you
but-
ever question me because
Yeah.
I'm superior. I'm superior intellectually. I'm superior in every way. So,
well, this is the number one red flag of unhealthy relationship.
Oh, yeah.
No respect.
you're
So
not allowed
if,
to say anything.
if you're not allowed to speak up and say what bothers you, what
Right.
is, what other person supposedly hurt you, or and a lot of in my case, I was trying to be super respectful.
Right.
I didn't go like cursing him, or I was really before even I understand all this narcissism, I really crafted my words very carefully because I knew how he can flip any moment. And oh boy, but when I bring this up, he made me pay one way or another.
Yeah.
So
They make you pay. I always said if I bring out the fly swatter, he brings out the nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
So there was never any equality with any of that. You're not allowed to even say this is a problem, this is destructive, and this is something needs to change here.
yeah. So how do you handle? Grace is given in which situation? A situation when person is disabled, or he's not able, or somebody make a mistake, but do you give grace
When it's
to the
purposeful.
person when it's purposeful evil?
Here's the problem.
destructive.
They make you believe that or you project your own goodness on them. You project that they really didn't mean it, that they don't really get it. They don't understand what they're doing. But they do. And they don't want to hear about it because they know exactly what they're doing, and they don't want to be pegged for what they're doing. They want to pretend that they want you to believe that they're just, like a bull in a china closet going through destroying everything, but they just don't realize they're doing it. Yes, they do. That's why they don't want to hear about it. And so you come under these false beliefs, but it's just one of these things, the craziness that happens in a entanglement, I will not call it a relationship, with a narcissist, is these crazy cycles that you get into. Because the only way to live with a narcissist is to be in complete denial and complete servitude. That's the only way you can stay.
Well, they train you to get to that way, but it's very, it's a way draw to nowhere because you lose yourself. You cannot speak what you need to say. You're
not allowed to have any needs.
So you're losing yourself because this is who you are, how you feel, what you want,
what you think,
what
your beliefs are, what's important to you.
If everything is taken away from you, what is left? So this is total destruction of a person.
That it is absolutely a sucking away of your identity.
Yep.
And your self-worth. It is a constant dismantling is what it is.
Yeah.
And it gives them a great sense of power and superiority to do that to you.
So use God's wisdom who to give grace and who do not give grace. And
that's right.
We need God's wisdom everywhere.
Yes, we do.
And here too. But we also need to learn to give grace to ourselves. That's what a lot of women, but it's might be topic for another.
If we gave grace to ourselves the same amount that we gave to them, we would be much healthier human beings, and we probably wouldn't have stayed.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.